And welcome to this edition of Sam's Alternatives with me, Sam, episode 67. Shortly, I will be chatting to, of course, Liam from, of course, Mount Gambier and South Australian punk band Gernz. We've got a few things to get through just before I let Liam in. Latest releases, brand new releases from Towers Below, Down and Out, Deficit, Bifurcation, Violent Conflict, Rat Salad, Dead Heat, Censored, Darcy Baker, The Love Bombers, Earth Cadet, Acid Amora, among others. Interviews coming up Sunday, the 12th of April, Grimlock. Saturday, the 18th of April, In Lucid Dreams. Sunday, the 26th of April, is Tailor Made Rejects. Saturday, the 9th of May, is the Coogis. Saturday, the 16th of May, is Terry Truern, 3BBRFM presenter. Saturday, the 23rd of May, is Unwanted Subject. And Tuesday, the 2nd of June, is 51st Avenue, plus a whole heap about to be announced shortly. Of course, Gernz released their latest single, Like A Dobberman, back in January this year. Actually, funnily enough, on January 9, which is my birthday. All right, Gernz are in the waiting room. I'll let them in and we'll get this interview started, as they say. Just waiting. But yeah, big fan of Gernz. Big fan. Love their music. Hello? Hello? Just waiting, just having a few issues here, but nothing that won't be fixed very shortly, as they say.
It'll be fixed in a second. Legend, how are you?
Good, thanks, Liam.
How are you,
It's
brother?
good, thanks. I thought I'd try Zoom for once because I haven't actually used Zoom before. So I want to see the comparison with Zoom and WebEx, if there's any difference whatsoever.
Yeah, man. Yeah. How you been?
Yeah, pretty good. Yourself?
Yeah, dude. Happy, living life, dreaming. Same shit as usual.
Happy Easter too, Liam, by the way.
You too, my brother. You
Yeah.
too. It's I forget it's Easter because I sort of I work all the time, so it's like I've just worked the entire weekend, so I'm just like, oh, is it Easter? Is it? I pulled a 12-hour shift, so I don't know.
Oh shit, yeah, I won't complain then, Liam. I've only
No, complain away, man. It's what we're good at. It's what
oh
we're very good at.
I haven't pulled a 12-hour shift. I don't think I've even worked that much in the last 3 days. Probably only 7.5 hours, so I've got nothing on that.
No, it doesn't matter. It's not a game of comparison, mate. All I'm doing is sitting on my ass doing nothing anyway.
Oh well, I'm only. This sounds selfish, I know, and I shouldn't say it, but of course, penalty rates gotta love on public holidays.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, without being sound like too much of a tool, especially sort of doing the work that I do. I don't mean it like this. It's not the most important thing, but at the end of the day, you pay penalty rates so that you get people working.
Mm.
They're making you money, or they provide a service that's needed. So if you need that service completed, or you want to make that extra cash, you have to pay for the penalty rates, and it is what it is. It probably
Because
will come up again.
it's an interesting topic because I did see something on Facebook, and sometimes you just say, oh, water under the bridge or take it with a grain of salt. But someone was complaining about a golf club somewhere in Victoria, I'm not too sure where, that they were charging 15% surcharge on Easter Sunday and Easter Saturday. I'm like, well, how else are they supposed to play the
Yeah.
employers?
Yeah, I think it's really funny and a bit ironic that our government's gone, hey, you can't be putting surcharges on stuff. Da, 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 da. It's like double dipping. It's like, all right. Well, you gave me a tax on my income, GST, fuel excise. That's triple dipping.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like at the end of the day, people have got to be a bit more realistic and kind of go, look, you've got to make money. It's got to be viable. And you've also got to provide a service. So if the service is being provided and the employees, which is the most important bit, if the employees feel like it's worth their time, they're going to do a good job. And if that means we have to pay an extra few bucks when we check out, an extra 10% on a $30 meal, it is what it is, if you
Mm.
ask me. But that's only because I want everyone to be successful, not just a few.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I think the easy solution is if you don't want to pay 15, 20% surcharge, just don't go out.
that's very, yeah, 100%, 100%. Now, like saying that, we want to support the venues, we want to support the pubs, and we want to support your favorite clothes store and all that sort of stuff. So do that, but
Mm.
you also have to understand that what you spend your money is what you spend your money on. Like if you end up sort of spending too much money on the wrong things, well, unfortunately, that'll always be the case. It will always be spent on the wrong thing. If you start, you know, you wouldn't worry about a $3 surcharge add to your meal if you only went out once every so often instead of all the time. You know.
No, that's very well said and very well constructed because most people think like that, but there's some people out there that just think, oh, I have the entitlement to, if it's $20 for a Parma on a normal day, it's got to be $20 on, let's say, Easter Monday or Labor Day,
Yeah,
whatever the public holiday may be.
yeah, dead right. No, I think exactly what you said before, man. Like if you're going out on a day like that and you look at the workers and you go, yeah, they should be paid extra because this is Easter Saturday, Easter Saturday or whatever. Like, I'm with my family, they don't get to be with theirs.
Mm.
You sort of do have to sort of sit back and go, all right, well, maybe that extra surcharge might go a little bit of an extra way, but it's gone now anyway. It's gone. It's
Till
leaving in October.
So it doesn't happen very often in interviews where I'm actually ahead of the time of the guest. I know it's only half an hour, but it's actually not even 4:30 in South Australia at the moment, and it's
No,
5 o'clock here.
yeah, man, yeah. South Australia is sort of one of those places, eh? It's
Yeah.
Yeah, especially where I am, regional South Australia. So I'm 400 odd k's away from Melbourne, 400 odd k's away from Adelaide, right smack bang in the centre. So that half an hour change literally happens within 15 minutes from my front doorstep. It's
And
wild.
a beautiful place, Mount Gambier. It's a long time since I've been to Mount Gambier. It's over 25 years, but yeah,
It's
last time
it's
I
a
was
stunning
there.
place.
Mm. Some good bands coming out of Mount Gambier as well. Funnily enough, Liam used to be in a band called Higgs Field.
I did,
Yes,
I
and
did.
funnily enough, Dylan, who used to be in Higgs Field, me and Rach interviewed on Sam and Rach's Next Exit 2022, I think it was. I might have my
Yeah,
dates wrong.
no, you're probably spot on. That was about Higgs era, mate. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Now, I have spoken to Liam constantly through Messenger, so it's not as if we don't know each other. This is the first
No,
time face to face, but
yeah, and I'd say too, like obviously, I'm going to make myself sound a bit old here. I know 30's not that old, but at the end of the day, it kind of is. I mean, we've also been around the Australian music scene for what, 15 years, Sammy?
yeah.
So even if we're not talking to each other face to face like this all the time, and all that sort of stuff, we're always in the same sort of orbit. A lot of us dudes all are, and
Yeah.
it's the passion, which is where that comes from, I suppose.
Because actually I've interviewed quite a few from Mount Gambier. Of course, Chelsea Mabber interviewed Ivan and
Yeah,
obviously Gooch and Gav from Discord as well. Great
yeah, Discord,
guys.
yeah, big fan.
Uh, but yeah, I'm a massive fan of regional music at the moment. There is so much in regional Australia. It's almost giving the cities a run for its money, almost.
Yeah, it has for a long time. I'm not trying to be rude, and I'm very biased when I say it. And I'm not saying by any means that bands from the city are any worse than any bands from regional, but I will say a lot of the city bands assume that the bands from regional areas are going to be shit. And I mean, we cop that all the time. People go, "Oh, you fucking, we'll do this." I go, "Oh, okay, no worries. You want a headline, you headline, but just know that as soon as we play, If they don't know who your band is, they're all going to fuck off. They all know who our band is down here. But that goes vice versa. If I go up to Melbourne, well, no one knows who Gernz is up in Melbourne. You're not going to have 400 people rock up to a show to see a band they don't know.
No.
But vice versa, hometown, it's just how it is.
Because
Yeah,
a lot of people still say Warragul in Victoria is almost an outer suburb of Melbourne, but we're still regional just. I feel like if we were 10 kilometres closer to Melbourne, I think we'd almost be classed as metropolitan city, but because we're the same distance as Ballarat and Geelong from the city, I feel like that's still
yeah.
regional.
So what's that, about 100 Ks away
But
sort of thing?
yeah, about 100 k's, and a lot of people don't realise where Warragul is until you say Unify, which was over at Tarwin Lower,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or
Yeah.
if you say Ocean Sleeper, most people would know Warragul's sort of in the Gippsland area. Ocean Sleeper have become fucking huge in the last two
Uh,
years. I
Great
mean,
fucking band. Great band. Ocean Sleeper is sick. I'll tell you what a big issue is, Sammy. I think that there's a lot of fake merit that comes from being in a band from the capital city. The story goes, oh well, there's a lot more competition, so the bands end up, they're trying to one up each other. So what shapes out of that is a really tight, really nice, good sounding band with some great songs and stuff like that. And fuck yeah, that definitely happens. We just played a show with the Bennies last year, and it was fantastic. They're a great band. They're from Melbourne, well, Collingwood, yeah, whatever. But they're a great band. But that doesn't mean that other bands aren't just as great or better or whatever from whatever place that they're in. They don't have to be from a city.
no.
They don't have to be from the biggest city or the smallest city. It's just the area that you are making music definitely determines the, I guess, style that you might make. Maybe the references that you do have in your songs. We have a lot of that sort of stuff. Like our music is very much from our area,
Yep.
but it's anyone could have written any of our songs from anywhere in Australia. It's what we need to start doing a little bit more is, I'm not saying give regional a go a bit more, because I feel like people really do, and some people really chase it too. But I think that get it out of your head that you're from Perth and you're a better band than Rat Salad from Geraldton, who are fucking awesome, kicking ass, about to do a European tour, but they miss out on. They get a lot of really good slots, don't get me wrong, but they miss out on certain slots because of where they're located.
Yep.
And reality is, Rat Salad would shit over most of the bands in Perth. It's just how it is.
It's a very interesting topic, that one, and I always, because I hear it a lot that, like, all right, you're from regional Victoria. I'm not saying everyone says it and all that, but they're like, you travel an hour and a half to go to gigs in Melbourne. Why don't you go to shows in Gippsland? I'm like, there's shows in Gippsland, but they're only a few times a year, and
Yeah, dead right.
if I want to see the big name bands, I have to go to Melbourne, and I don't actually mind it. I just think that when you see a regional band on a lineup with other Melbourne bands, you know straight away, even if they're only from Bendigo or Geelong, they still know the challenges of not being in the main city of Melbourne and, having to travel to gigs and try and get their names well known in Melbourne. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's an interesting one because I've got to be really careful what I say because I don't want a lynch mob or a defamation case.
yeah.
But
I don't mind the lynch mob. Bring it on. Bring it on.
yeah, I don't think there'd be many defenders in Gippsland. I think there'd be a few bands, but it's not like I'm from Burnie or I'm from like Byron Bay. And if you said bad things about Byron Bay, you'd have all the Parkway and in Art's Wake
Of
fans
course,
on your doorstep. Bernie, you'd
of
have
course,
Alpha Wolf fans on your doorstep. So
100%. But I mean, that just goes to that. I mean, exactly what you just said then goes to show. It doesn't matter whereabouts in, I'll say the world, but in Australia you are. If you're a good band and you make good music, good things will just happen. It's
no,
harder. It's harder when you have to travel. I'll say that. I'll give you that. When you have to, when all of a sudden you can't just go home after a gig, you've got to find somewhere to stay. You've got to, travel. Like for me, if we're doing a show in Melbourne, we've got to travel 4.5 hours to get to Melbourne, then sign in, like get into a hotel or get to a mate's place or whatever, unpack, de-stress for a few seconds before we get back in, take the shit down to the, our gear down to the venue for whatever's about to happen, whether we do a sound check or whether it's a quick line check or just chuck our shit there. It definitely adds to it. But I mean, I don't mind a bit of controversy, but this is a fact. We're not running cables under roofs and ceilings all day either. Like, if you don't have the energy to sit in a car and travel for 4.5 hours, chill out for a bit, and then play a show, well, Matt, I don't know if it's for you. I
no.
really don't.
No, I can understand that. And these are all this is a totally different way of starting a podcast interview. I don't have an issue with it. And
Yeah,
it's not controversial. It's just, I think a lot of people are probably going to watch the first 20 minutes of this and think, is this Sam interviewing Lamb from Gernz, or is this just I
Liam just
don't know,
talking shit.
Q&A, a question time in Parliament or something, it sounds
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
like.
yeah, yeah.
But no, if you haven't already figured out, Liam is the vocalist of Mount Gambier skate, punk, grunge, every style of music band Gernz, and I love the sounds like the Chats, Amel and the Sniffers, Nirvana, Frenzal Rom. There's some good bands in there. Sounds like.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. Yeah, we're. I mean, if you want to get into it, we were playing a prog rock metal band called Higgsfield for ages, for a good few years, and we played some pretty nice stages and stuff like that. Bands like Spider Bait and Kingswood and even rappers and stuff like that. Like we played a music festival with Draft, who's fantastic. What an absolute dude. But like, we did that. After a little while, sort of our between the four of us, I'll just say it exactly how it is. Me, Kyle, and Frosty were very close, tight knit, super close, good mates. And D's a fantastic musician. I'm not gonna shit on D whatsoever. D's fantastic in their own merit, but with how close we were compared to how D was with the three of us, it just was. It felt a little bit like for D that they were disconnected because there's us three going to watch the UFC down at the pub, and then going over to Frosty's place playing some PlayStation or whatever, and getting on the beers and just chilling out. So it's that's not for D. That wasn't D's vibe, and there are other sort of creative differences too. Where we basically ended up, D sort of said, "Oh, look, I'm done. Let's get our last gig out of the way, and then after that, I'm all finished." And we were sort of, I didn't want to do that project without D, and I don't think the other boys really did either. So I think instead of us continuing with Higgsfield and finding a new lead singer and all that sort of stuff, we went, nah, we're gonna get back in the shed. We're gonna play around with some different kind of tunes, and we're gonna just write some music. Now, I didn't want to sing. I don't think I'm a good singer, and I think I just get away with playing the guitar. But the boys were very adamant that I do the singing and the guitar, and I think maybe bringing D along to start with was a bit of an eye opener for the three of us, where it was like the three of us work very well together and we're very good mates. It's it's family. It's a little family, and it has been for a long time. So if we did bring that extra person in, we might sound better, but there might not be that same chemistry. And the chemistry is really important to us, and the music, that comes first, obviously. But at the same time, it's a lot easier to play music with people that you legitimately feel related to, like absolutely love.
And
So
I
that's
think,
how Gernz started, really.
yeah, well, that's answered the question before we even got into the question. So I was just about to say, obviously, the gist of this is I ask Liam a bunch of questions, which he's already answered how to prepare for before even asking the question. Didn't this happen? This happened a couple of weeks ago where someone was like psychic. They were just thinking, am I going to ask the questions or am I just going to answer them before he asks them? And I'm like,
Well, to be fair, Sammy, I've been watching quite a few of your podcasts.
yeah,
Not just in the lead up to our conversation, but before that as well. Especially when you got Gav on for Discord and all that sort of stuff. I got so much love for that band. And Jake Turner, the lead singer in that, he's good mates of ours, and he's in a band with Kyle as well. But I think it's really interesting to hear other musicians' point of views from wherever they are.
mm.
So psychic, or I've seen the podcast a few times, so I might know a little bit where it's going.
Okay. Well, some people might not know this, but Saturday's going to be the complete opposite for me because I've interviewed that many bands, but I'm actually going to be interviewed on Chris Goresby from Storm the Crown Killer, his podcast Saturday night. I'm just like, all right, how am I going to sort of do this? Because I know how to ask bands questions and sound interesting. Now I've got to do the opposite and be interesting.
But you do that easy, man. You do that easy. It's just a rolling conversation. You're an
Yeah,
interesting person. You're a knowledgeable person, and I think that just makes things simple.
no. And I would love for it to happen more. Like, I'd love to be interviewed by more people. Like, I'm tempted to get in contact with Ez from Heretic Frequency, obviously. For
Ah,
those,
Space Goat. I'll tell you
yeah,
what. Let me just say something about Easy, man. She's fantastic. I don't know her. I don't know her. I don't know her. But she did a bit of writing for Heavy Mag, and I like Chris a lot from Heavy Mag. So I always give as many of their articles a read as possible when they pop up. And I seen that she was writing for Heavy Mag, so I'm like, got to give this a bit of a look into it. And she's fantastic, man. What an absolute legend,
mm,
legend in the scene. Really, she has done nothing but get around other bands, other people, help to up and coming bands in that sort of Bendigo or Ballarat.
Bendigo.
Bendigo. So
Yeah,
I mean, again, I've just watched so many people's journey over the past sort of 10, 15 years. And, whether you like uh, the like her band or not, like Scapegoat, I like their band. I think they're fantastic. I think their riffs are phenomenal. But whether you like it or not, the passion that she projects in her radio show, in her social media posting, all that sort of stuff, that's the sort of stuff that we need to be, I guess, getting around more, straight up,
nah,
as fellow musicians.
she's a fantastic radio presenter, fantastic person just in general. I have all the time in the world for Ez, and
Yeah,
I try and listen into Heretic Frequency, but my Tuesday nights, I didn't used to work Tuesday nights, and now it seems like every Tuesday night I'm working. I'm like, I'll just have to listen back then.
that's me, brother. I've got a local community radio station that they play us every single week. Like, I feel really bad for not being able to get down there, but they play Tuesday nights, and I work Tuesday nights most every Tuesday night. So it's like, yeah, I can't get down there for an interview or even just to sort of pop along and be a bit of a dick on the airwaves. I can't do it.
I like when musicians say, "Oh, I'm sorry if I was a bit of a dick on the interview." It's like, what? No, I mean, I think that's more exciting if there's banter and shit stirring and all that than just
Yeah, you
sitting
get.
there.
We're gonna get there today. We'll
Okay.
get there today. I've got some opinions, pretty opinionated person, and I don't really care what anyone thinks of me. So it's a
I've
perfect storm.
I've heard a lot of stuff on these interviews, Lambs. I don't know if I'm gonna hear anything I haven't heard before, but I'm intrigued now that you say that.
Yeah, I mean, I might end up just saying, "Oh, yeah, this person's awesome. Oh, that person's fantastic," and all that sort of stuff. But I mean, like that's only because that's actually the truth. You know what I mean? I'm only going to ever give the truth, even if it's negative, which it happens a lot. Happens a lot.
Now, this episode will be upload. It was originally meant to be uploaded Wednesday, but we switched nights because it works better today. I had something on that's been moved to tomorrow. Easy done.
Yep.
Uh, the Spotify playlist will feature all three Gernz songs. So Apprentice Tradie, It's Been a While, and
Yeah.
Like a Dobberman. And we're going to chuck in a Higgsfeld song. I think it's either Later in the Eye or Us Forever. It was one of the latest singles.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Very cool.
it's a lot of new music on that playlist. Actually, this year alone already has been a phenomenal year for new music.
Been unreal. It's been unreal. Yeah. I think actually my new favorite band, which I'll answer that later, but my new favorite band released an EP this year. And I think it's one of my favorite EPs I've heard in a long time. But generally, just a piece of music, just a set of tracks, fucking unreal.
We're going to get to my five controversial favourite fellow South Australian bands because there's going to be a lot of debate around this because there's going to be a few that people are like, why weren't we in there? But we will.
Fucking, that's why. They better.
It's and bit of a breaking news. There are a couple of bands in there that I've interviewed in the last 12 months. So it's a bit of a
Hmm.
spoiler. I think some people might know one of them already. I might have name dropped them a bit earlier too.
A bit of Discord, eh? Bit of Discord.
Zip the lip.
They are really fantastic band. I'm going to try and get them. I'm going to try and con them for a live show with us this year because I've had enough. I want to see it. It sounds great. It sounds great. And if they're only doing a recorded project, that's cool. But if I talk to one of the fellas, they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll get there," and we want to make sure it's really good. And then talk to one of the other dudes, they're like, "Yeah, nah, fucking keen, let's go." And I'm like, "All right." So I might be able to weasel it in.
Mount Gambier represent, as they say.
Well, look, Mount Gambier's got we have some great music, great music that is coming up, great music that's been around for a while, and great music that's from bands that have been around for only the past few years, but sort of established now. So I think we're really really lucky, really lucky.
All right, before you answer any of my other questions.
Sorry, yeah, 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 yeah.
All
To
right,
be fair, I
well,
haven't even looked at your questions that you sent me before. I just thought, nah, I'll just have a chat, pretty chill chat with Sam. He's a pretty good dude.
it's always chilled. If we got serious, I don't think I could be serious during an interview.
Nah, what's the point?
Like, there's parts that I do need to be serious, like making sure the people have got the meeting link to actually get into the interview is a pretty
Oh yeah.
important.
Well, I'll
Otherwise,
say this: your admin's very professional. Your
mm,
admin's very professional. I just had a we just set up an interview a few weeks ago. I don't do many interviews. I only do interviews with people like yourself, Sammy. I don't like interviews, so happy to chat with a dude like you, just natural, authentic dude that just wanting to actually talk about music and the band rather than we'll just get this out of the way so that we can we've got a bit of content that we can share. So I fucking hate that. So love talking to you. Other people, I'm a little bit standoffish. I make the other boys do it.
and it's an interesting topic that because like there's a lot of interviewers and not throwing anyone under the bus. And I think that's why Ez is like I want to give Ez as much credit as possible. Ez is phenomenal at doing live interviews, pre-recorded interviews for Heavy Mag as well. I think
Yeah,
people see people like Ez as someone that she loves what she does. She's passionate about the music,
absolutely.
and you see some interviewers and they get asked a question like, "Oh, what did you think of this song from our band?" And they haven't even listened to the song, which is pretty disrespectful in my eyes.
Yeah, especially if it's like the new song that you guys are, like coming to talk about, or like, a new album or something like that that's just come out. Yeah, absolutely. But I think, back on Ez, like exactly what you just said, the passion's there, the excitement's there in her voice, so it's not a boring interview straight off the bat. And
Well,
like you said too, there's a bit of research done too, so she's going to ask good questions.
and like my theory is if I'm strapped for time to listen to the whole discography of a band, I generally go back and listen to the last two releases at
Yep,
least.
yep.
Sometimes, like Gernz, I could do that in like 12 minutes because the
Yeah, not
song's
even.
like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, 100%. Very different to Higgsfield, eh? Like I think Higgsfield, we sort of had, they're all about 4 minutes long, something like that. Maybe one of them's about 5, 6 minutes long, but then this, it's like, yeah, we're trying to work on a 60-second song. So it's like, yeah, very short.
Trying the Fredzal Rom, no effects
Ah,
approach with the short songs.
yeah, but, well, you know what it is, like just being absolutely transparent about it. It's that sort of Friends of Rom, uh, No Effects, Misfits, those shorter songs. I found myself listening to some of them songs over and over and over again, and without realizing it, I've played them songs 50 times. Compared to like "Come As You Are" by Nirvana, I might have listened to that 20 times in comparison. But it's that condensed sort of thing. There might be 15 seconds in that condensed song that I really froth, that I really cannot wait to hear. But I don't have to wait too long to get to it. I love that.
Mm.
We need more of that.
Love Nirvana. Well, Nirvana was a massive influence on music for me. I mean, Nevermind alone,
Yeah,
probably one of, if not the greatest album of the 90s.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm with you on that. I think that would be hard to argue anyway, just because of the sales. I mean,
Mm.
even if you went, oh no, Nirvana are too popular, I'm more into early Pixies and this, that, the other. I'm a massive grunge fan, like a huge Soundgarden fan and
Oh,
all that sort of stuff. But like, they're the biggest band in that era.
yeah, I think they passed like Chili Peppers, Metallica. Like Chili
Well, I'd
Peppers,
say Metallica 80s,
yeah.
Metallica 80s metal. Started that. And let's be honest, it's the same. It's the same goes with Metallica. I love Megadeth, but who's bigger?
Metallica.
Yeah, like it's just how it is. It's just how it is. Is that based on whose songs are better? No, because one of my favorite songs is a Megadeth song.
Mm.
So I would say some Megadeth songs kill most Metallica songs, but who sold more? Who managed to take advantage of the, I guess, the period more? I guess,
Mm.
like they Metallica dominated the '80s so much that by the '90s, when the Black Album came out, it was the first metal album to go platinum, wasn't it?
I
I might be
think
full of shit,
so,
but
yeah.
like it's that's a big deal. That's a big deal. And the Black Album's a bit more mainstream compared to the Master of Puppets album, but
Or
not
Ride the
really. It's
Lightning
pretty
and
heavy.
yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah, it's still pretty heavy. Like that sort of stuff. That's it's not normal. It hasn't been done very like similar things have been done, but not exactly that. Not since.
that's I actually love the Black Album. I know a lot of people rat it out, but songs like Holier Than Thou, The Unforgiven, Sad But True, they're still bangers.
They're all bangers. They're all bangers.
Even
Yeah,
Through the
Metallica lost
Never.
me with Lulu. Oh,
Yeah.
through the never, unreal.
Yeah, Lulu was a disaster.
That was weird. That was weird. But you know what? At the same time, if I hated that, guess what? I don't have to listen to that album. I'll just put on Death Magnetic.
Yeah.
I'll put on their last album that they just came out with, which was brilliant. You know, I'll put that on.
And
Um,
Saint Anger's the album that everyone hates on, but again, it's not a terrible album. It's just
nah,
between two really good albums. And similar with One Hot Minute by Chili Peppers, there
mm,
had to be an album between Blood Sugar Sex Magic and Californication. Of course,
yeah,
it's not going to be as good as those two.
no, that's exactly right. And I'll say this: if any other band wrote Saint Anger, that would be their best album
Mm.
because Metallica did it, and their discography before that was unreal. Everyone goes, "Oh, it's shit." Oh, all right.
I still don't think it's
What is
even
that?
close. I don't think, for me, I don't even think Lulu's their worst album.
What
Like,
is their worst album then?
well, I gotta be honest, and this will cause debate, but I actually didn't think much of Reload.
Yep,
Like, outside of Fuel and Memory Remains, I thought it was a bit lackluster.
yep, yeah. I'll put it this way: uh, I disagree with you, but that's okay. That's the whole point of you having your ears, Sammy, me having my ears, is that, I went through all my favorite songs and I figured out that most of them are from 1967.
Okay.
And then when I said that to my partner, my wife looks at me and she's just like, "You listen to rap music from Melbourne that came out 2 weeks ago. What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Yeah, I might listen to that. But the other side of it is these are my favorite. This is the year that it came out." And when
Yeah.
I took that to like the other two boys in the band, like Kyle and Frosty, big love to them, they're just like, "Oh, this song's shit." And I'm like, "Nah, nah, 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 nah. This is great. This is great. This is like this is unreal." But it's everybody has their own interpretation. And the other thing is too is what was going on during the time that album dropped, because I'll go back to Tool. For me, when in 2006, when 10,000 Days came out, I was just getting into metal. So here's this brand new album. I'm buying, what was the name of that magazine? Help
Not
me out
a
here, Sammy.
Blunt? No, not Blunt. I don't think that would have been around back then.
Sounds like heavy, just heavy.
Oh, yeah.
That one. So I bought that. I had this. Oh, here's this new band Tool, and one of my other friends from high school is like, "Yeah, man, like listen to Tool, they're great." So I put them on, and I loved it. And probably that era when I was getting into that sort of music. So like, I'm listening to Tool, Lamb of God, Arch Enemy. I'm listening to just Porcupine Tree. I know that's weird, but it came out in 2006, 2007 when I'm getting into all the stuff. The first Carnival album,
The
that came
Martyr.
out.
Oh, that
Yeah,
was
Tomato
killer.
came out. Man, unreal. So here's me, 12 years old, 11 years old, listening to these albums for the first time that were brand new at the time, going, this is unreal. And no one else around me, apart from a few close mates, were listening to that kind of music. So it's that those albums, they've always got a vibe to it, no matter what.
And Carnival's new album, of course, in Verses. I think it's probably the best Australian album of the year. I know a lot of people might say, I mean, Gloom, their latest album's pretty good, but I feel like Carnival, just the anticipation for when it dropped, I think it's
Yeah.
just ahead of The Gloom in the Corner at the moment as best album of 2026. But again, people might have a differing opinion.
Look, we're early into 2026, but so far, I think you're right, mate. I think so far it's pretty up there. It's pretty unreal.
Well, and when dropped, I'm like, holy fuck, this is gonna be some
It's
sort of
gonna go off.
album.
Yeah, man. Yeah, 100%, 100%. And like that's the thing about Carnival. And something I'll bring up a bit later, but like a lot of bands need to go out and do what Carnival's done, and that is carve out their own path. You know, the music industry's fucked. There's a lot of bad actors in the music industry in Australia. A lot of people that, you know, will tell you what to do, how things should be, and all this sort of stuff. More people need to tell those people to get fucked and to do what Carnival's done. And really, they worked really hard, by the way. I'm not taking anything away from them, but they worked really hard in their own way. In their own way. And it's that simple. And it's punk to do that. It's good to do that. It's healthy to do that. And people need to do it more, like now, because the industry is just, it's going downhill big time.
Sad to say it is. It definitely is.
It is. And they've got government programs that are supposed to help. I'm not seeing that happen. The venues are struggling. I was talking to a few owners of a few, you know, different venues. I won't say who because I'm not going to bring up their business here, but or anywhere. But you know, they're struggling. The venues are struggling. They're like, hey, we're having to pay these insurances. We're having to do this, this, and this. What money do we even have to pay the band? And I totally understand that. For me, and you know, the band, the you know, Gernz and all that sort of stuff, we're not asking for a lot of money when we play because we want it to be viable, but we're not doing it for free either. And I think that I can rent a venue and make good money if my band plays and my friend's band plays, and we'll get 200, 300, 400 people out to that venue to watch. Maybe sometimes only 100, but that's 100 beers at the bar. That's 100 meals at the tables. That's 100 this, that, the other. So if I rent your venue, and I bring the numbers in, that's a good thing. That's a good thing for the venue, the bands, the punters going to the shows, because they're the most important. But for whatever reason, that's not happening. So we, as artists, we've kind of got to get back into the art again and rent a footy club, right? And play a show at a footy club. It doesn't have to be at a music venue every single time. No. And when you can afford it, if you keep going back to a music venue, give them a free show every now and then. Don't make them pay more and more and more every single time. Have your set amount that you normally ask for. Say, hey, look, you know what, brother? You've given us 10 shows in the part this year, and it's been fantastic. Every time we've played, you've been so good to us and all that sort of stuff. How about we do a free show for you? You know, we'll organise this, this, and this, and that money, we would really like it if you could put that in towards some other bands. It's that simple.
It sounds simple on paper. It's just, it
is, but then government gets involved. So they're taxing the shit out of the beers that the guys are trying to sell. They're taxing the shit out of the insurance companies. So the insurance companies are sending that at the venues. It's incredibly difficult for the venues to run the live music. So any one of them that do, you've got to give them a big clap, and you've got to get behind them, even if they're, you know, I've just seen some controversies around the Cherry Bar.
Oh, in Melbourne. Yep.
Yeah. Now, I don't know that geezer. I don't know the Cherry Bar. They haven't invited me to play. They absolutely should. But it's airing the dirty laundry out like that doesn't help people.
No.
It doesn't look good for the bar, the person that was about, and it doesn't look good for the artists that are sitting in there that have played that venue 10 times and gone, yeah, that was shit. They treated me like this, that, the other. No. No, help each other out, get around each other, because it's really fucking hard.
No, couldn't have said it better myself. And that's not coming from someone who's in a band. That's just
a man that watches a lot of bands, though, and would like to continue to see these bands in really nice venues. And feel safe doing it.
It's just the vibe when you're at live music. Like a lot of people say they won't go on their own. I'm like, 99.9% of the time, I'm on my own. And
Yeah,
okay, probably 90% of those gigs, there's someone there in the bands I know or a punter there that I'll know. But even if there's not, it's just knowing you're there to see two, three, four bands at a time, maybe more, depending on the gig or whether it's a festival. And yeah, I'd rather be there in person than watch it on some stories reel on Instagram or
yeah, for sure.
Facebook.
It's part of the experience. You want to you want to smell it. I know it
Yeah.
sounds weird to say, but you want to be there to smell it.
Mm.
It's a weird thing to say, but it's so true.
But yeah, again, people have differing views. It's the same people that don't buy pre-sale tickets and then they whinge about
Complain. Yeah,
it either getting cancelled or being sold out. And it's
yeah,
like, well, if you'd bought the ticket, it might have
yeah,
still gone ahead.
yeah. But even that side of it's all fucked because that's all owned by not all of it, obviously, but like Live Nation is dominating that industry. Ticket Tech dominating that industry. And what are they doing? They're not giving artists the opportunity to go, I want it at a fixed price for this, this, and this. If it's a bigger artist, they're going, oh, what are they calling that? The tickets? The fluctuating prices of tickets? Dynamic pricing.
Yeah.
Nothing should be dynamic price.
No.
Apart from maybe the stock market. That's silly. You're not getting more on a Wednesday. You're not getting a better show on Wednesday because you didn't buy the tickets Tuesday. So why are you paying a $200 difference? Because it's selling well? Yeah,
Yeah, these are all very topical things too, and well, present things as well. I think,
yeah.
yeah, as strange as it sounds, like these might be controversial points and all that, but this is happening right here, right now,
It
everywhere in Australia with live music.
it's damaging the entire industry to a point where I mean I'm happy because I don't want to. When I say I don't want to make music my career, music is my hobby, my outlet, my everything. In some sort of way. But it's not my way of making money. But for some people, they want that, and I believe that just like a good chef has an opportunity to get into that industry and do really well and do some amazing things as a really good chef in their particular genre of chefing, musicians should be able to do the same thing. Now, you love King Parrot. I love King Parrot. Most Aussies love a bit of King Parrot. Those boys have worked so fucking hard over the years to get to where they are today, where they are known as being one of Australia's best metal bands, hardest working metal bands, and almost now at the stage where they're a legacy band. Same as Parkway Drive, you name it. There's a few of them, but there's only a small few of them. If you ask Matty from King Parrot, I don't know the dude, but if you asked him, do you feel like you are as successful as other musicians view you? I don't think he's going to say yes. I think he's going to be like, well, we're not raking it in, but we're getting good enough money to keep the machine rolling, but it's difficult and there's a lot of sacrifice involved.
Mm,
In the 70s, it wasn't like that.
no.
In the 70s, it was like, I made a fucking good album, bam, doing all the coke and getting all the chicks and doing all this, that, the other, blah, 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 blah. So if that's what it was like in the 70s, media's changed. A lot of things have changed. But there are still people with that old school business head in an industry that's totally flipped on its head.
Mm,
So it's like people need to be a bit more innovative. If you want to see my band play at your venue, it's going to cost you X amount. If you want to see Discord play, it's going to cost you X amount. And those X amounts might be different. but those X amounts are based on what the artists believe that they are worth and what they're willing to put up with too. You know, some people might be happy to play a show from, you know, from they're in Tasmania. They're happy to fly up to Queensland and play a show for $100. That's for them. That's for them to make that decision. Is it going to cost them a heap of money? Absolutely. Maybe they've got it there to burn. I think if you look at any industry, the moment that industry becomes not viable, that's when you lose that industry. That's where we're at. We're losing the industry.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sorry, Sam.
I think this is the longest time I've ever gone without actually asking anything about Gernz.
Go for it, man. Go for it. I'm here to
All
listen.
right. Fuck, I can't believe we've been talking this long already. Well, this
Sorry, mate.
is...
That's what I do.
No, it's fine, Liam. I mean, when the time disappears, it's like, oh, fuck, what haven't I done? Or what haven't I asked? It just feels like I only sent you the link like 5 minutes ago and you jumped on and boom, it's 45 minutes done.
That's right.
Anyway.
That half an hour ago, wasn't
it? All right. How did you come up with the band name, Gernz?
So we were sort of, obviously Higgsfield wrapped up. We'd written a few songs for Gernz, what was to be Gernz, and me and the boys were pretty cheeky. We sort of were over at Kyle's place and having a couple of beers and go out the front. And I used to smoke cigarettes. I've recently quit. So I'm having a cigarette, and the boys are like, "What should we call this?" And then, you know, we're talking about, you know, ripping your footy jersey. You know, we're country boys, so, you know, that's normal for us. So ripping your footy jersey, you know, a bit of party culture, so gurning a little bit if you've been a bit cheeky. So I put the two together, and it was Gernz. And, you know, rip your footy Gernz, you gurn and all that sort of stuff. So two and two together. So we sort of just sat around in a little circle saying it like Beavis and Butthead and, you know, a bit of giggle with each other, and it's just kind of stuck.
Oh, Beavis and Butthead. That shows how old I am if I can remember the old Beavis and Butthead days.
Snap, dude, snap.
Mike Judge, obviously the creator of it. And now, I think I've got this right. One has a Metallica shirt, one has an AC/DC shirt, but I can never remember which one has which.
Yeah, me neither, man. I can't even, yeah. No,
Beavis?
I wouldn't even be able to tell you.
I need the DVD cover in front of me.
Yeah, man. I can tell you that was the first time I heard Faith No More was Beavis and Butthead when I was a little dude. I just remember like watching that going, what the hell is this thing? And then Faith No More played and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's about as much as I get from them.
Yeah, because I've got people from like this era wouldn't know what the hell a VHS or a DVD
No,
is, but
yeah.
I've actually got a VHS or DVD of Beavis and Butthead, and it's got like volume 1, 2, and 3. And at the end, it's got like music videos from bands that are inspired by Beavis and Butthead or have featured. And yeah, Faith No More and Alice in Chains, Judas Priest, because they always do the breaking the law in nearly every episode. But no, massive fan of that show. And Faith No More. When I heard
Cool, man.
Epic and We Care a Lot are probably the two songs that got me into Faith No More.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mike
Yeah.
Patton, what a genius.
Yeah, genius, man. Absolute genius. And like that's all of his projects. Tomahawk, Phantomus, all that. Like I'm a big Melbourne guy as well, so like yeah, Phantomus, I was like, first time I heard that, I'm like, this is fucking weird, what's this? And then it's like, oh, it's got Mike Patton and the dude and Buzz Osborne or whatever his name is from the Melbournes, and I went, oh, I'm now its biggest fan.
Now, I was doing a bit of research on Mr. Patton, and I didn't actually realize this. Two projects or albums I didn't realize he had a work in was he did stuff with Dillinger Escape Plan, but he also maybe mixed some of the Fat of the Land album by The Prodigy, of all albums.
Really?
And I was like, That's a bit different to what his normal stuff is. That's a great album, and I'm not massive on
Great.
dance, but I do love The Prodigy.
Yeah, the Prodigy's got that sort of Nine Inch Nails sort of darkness about it that way. It's not dance music like Panau
Yeah,
or who's the dude that's
not
Abby
Skrillex.
Cutfield's girlfriend? What's his
Oh,
name?
yeah, what is his name? I've gone
That dude.
blank.
Peking Duck. Peking Duck's the band I'm thinking about. Now I quite like Peking Duck. I don't mean to shit on them like that. But like, that's dance music. It's happy. It's this, that, the other. You put on, the Prodigy, and you're kind of sitting there going, "Oh yeah, nah." There's something to it. It's a bit grimier, a
Because
bit
it's
cooler.
sort of, yeah, when I first heard, what was the big song? Not Breathe or Smack My Bitch Up. It was the one before that off their first album. Oh, something
Firestarter.
people. Oh, Firestarter. That's the one. I heard that. I'm just like, I can sort of get into this, and then
Oh yeah,
heard Breathe and Voodoo People Smack My Bitch Up. I'm like, this is actually dance music that's sounding a lot like Nine Inch Nails and Pendulum at their
yeah,
best.
yeah. 100%, 100%, man, 100%.
And like, I'm massive old school Nine Inch Nails fan. Anything off the first four albums is gold.
It is, it is. I think maybe so. Their first album is that's where a lot of not that any of my riffs sound like that, but a lot of my riffage ideas come from, I guess, that era, and definitely, Head Like a Hole. I can't remember what song I wrote, but it was pretty much I started out with that riff, and then just went, what can I put in between the riffs, and then what I put in between it is how it ended up. Yeah, they're great, great, great bands, great bands.
And one of their best songs doesn't even feature on an album in Perfect Drug. I know it features on the Lost Highway soundtrack, but doesn't
Yeah,
actually
Spawn.
feature on any of the albums. Not Pretty Hate Machine, not Downward Spiral, nothing. And like, how did this song miss an album?
It, there's a band called The Urge. All right, so when I when I was a little kid, a movie came out called Titan AE, and it's like a Disney movie.
I've heard of
And
that movie.
yeah, man, it's like space pirates. It's cool. It's cool. But as a little kid, I remember hearing this song, and there's a part the chorus in the song's awesome. So as an adult, I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, having a couple of beers and a couple of mates of mine. I'm like, what's that? What's that fucking song? Da, 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 da. And we're trying to find it, and we found the right band. We found the right album. Could not find this song at all. And I'm like, I swear it was this. And we looked it up, and it said it was that. I'm like, what's going on? All copyright to do with Disney. So their
Oh,
best song that they've ever written, no offense, guys in the Urge, but their best song is not in their discography legally.
that I just
Heartbreaking.
like I'm trying to think of other songs or bands that have had that one song that you keep thinking is going to feature on an album, but is
Yeah.
just a standalone single that isn't featured on any album. And there's a few, but I think most of the songs would make an album or an EP at least.
Yeah, it all depends on that licensing side of things. Like that sync licensing can be awesome or a bit of a devil, where you are signing away the rights to be able to put that song on an album. Or if you've written some music for the project, whether it's TV show, movie, or short story or whatever, you've written some music for that, and you've given them the rights to that song. Well, they never have to release it, so that kind of can sit in the dark a little bit and be hidden away, which is a shame. But it's how art is. It's fanatical. It's a bit weird. It's cool.
Uh, but yes, I do. I don't think I've ever actually seen Titan AE, but I definitely remember it being like early 2000s or late 90s.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Classic.
What has the overall response been like for Like A Dobberman, given it's been out over 3 months, which is a bit scary?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're in April now. um, the response to like a Doberman's been like kind of unreal, very unreal. I'm not going to sprout numbers and all that sort of stuff because it doesn't really matter to me anyway. I'm sure that there'd be people that listen to your podcast that go, "Oh, I don't listen to a band unless it's got, the song's got 10,000 streams or whatever." None of that matters to me because my favorite songs probably still got under 1,000. But um, I think the response to the song's been unreal, but we kind of cheated too. We played that song live for about a year. So when it came out, we recently played a show, well, a couple of shows, and I can't hear myself. Everyone is screaming the lyrics over the top of me,
Oh.
which is that's unreal. So as far as the response goes, that's how I figure out if it's good or not, and that's what's happening. So pretty stoked.
Well, I mean, that says in itself that it's been a great response. And as you said, Liam, that in itself, people screaming the lyrics back at you at a live gig for that
Yeah.
song means more than I think what a lot of people would know. That's why you're in a band. That's why you do what you do.
Yeah, well, look, like just being very honest, like with every single other band I've been in, which is a few now, the same as the other boys, I don't think we ever wrote a song that people would sing. We'd get a lot of crossed arms and that, you know what I mean? Like people would come up to us after the show and be like, "Yeah, it was a really good show. What was that song that I really like that? When you guys recording that, blah blah blah." This one, this band, before we released our very first song, it's been a while. It's ironic. Um, before we released that, we started noticing a couple of songs where people were singing the whole thing, and they're really simple. They're stupid. They're funny, but that's when it was like, "Holy shit! Like this has never happened to us before." So then, when we release a song now, and we got people that are jumping up and stealing Cole's microphone and singing the song with me, I'm like, "Fuck yeah! Well, let's go! Like this is awesome."
I love the old mic drop. I've never done one. I do think it's probably overdue to do one,
Do
but
it, mate. Come to a Gernz show and come up and sing a song with me. And I would say this for everyone that comes and watches the show. Don't come in and fuck me up while I'm playing guitar because it's very hard. I'm very stupid and I'm doing two things at once already. So don't fuck me up with that. But jump on the other microphone, have fun, come up, give me a hug, do this, that, the other, give the other boys a bit of a high five, dap them up, do whatever. We're playing for you and we want you to have fun. And if you jump up on stage and sing a song with me, it just makes me happy. I've never been sad about it.
nah. And no band
Cool.
should ever be sad about someone jumping up on stage. I mean,
Well, look, I understand the art thing. Like this is our art. We're performing it for you. It's for you to sit back and enjoy, but it's our art. Don't come on our stage. But that's our art. Our art is, yeah, come on our stage.
yeah.
This is your stage too. This is our art. It's got to do with everyone in the room.
I think you'd have to get me to have a few drinks before I did anything like
I don't reckon
that.
that'd be a problem, Sammy. A couple of beers in.
Yeah, it'd have to be a few, I reckon. 'Cause,
Me
oh,
too, to be fair.
my voice, like, people have asked me to do a scream. I'm like, nah, I'll damage my voice. Like, the screaming bands, they do it professionally and they've had that much vocal coaching. It
Dead
just
on.
comes naturally.
Dead on. And then there's me. I'll have a few too many beers and just decide to turn. We just on a whim decide to turn one of the songs into a bit of a late '90s emo fucking screamo song, and
Oh,
I can't speak the next day, but it felt good at the time.
oh. But no, that's all. I like that response because you're saying they're singing the lyrics back to you. I think that's special to any band out there, and
Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
yeah, it is.
and also like going up and acknowledging how much you enjoyed the show to the band, I think's extremely important.
It is. It gives people a bit more confidence. We just played with a band that we did 2 shows with them over a weekend, and they had not really played a lot of live shows before. And every single other live show that they've played, it's like they've finished, and then it's like, all right, we're packing up now, and people didn't come up to them and all that. Whereas with this one, people did. So it's the first time they got that response. And the lead singer, Geordie, is unreal. He's a good dude. But he was saying, it just feels great. It feels fantastic. And I'm like, well, some people want to hear it, some people don't. But at the end of the day, if you say thank you, or show your appreciation, it's hard to find people that go, oh, I hate that, don't do that. And most people go, thank you so much.
And there are a lot of people out there that might like think, oh, that was an awesome set, but they won't then go and talk to the band and say it. And I think I've said to anyone, just do it. Like
Yeah.
it's yeah.
Like, I'm a bit of an awkward dude. Sometimes, like, a lot of the time, actually, I'm a bit of an awkward dude. So, like, sometimes people will come up to me and I don't really know how to respond or to say, oh, thank you so much. And, give the hug, take the photo, do the whatever. But it's more I think the encouragement overall is what's special.
And I mean, this person could have been anywhere else in the world at this
Yep,
stage.
dead
I
on.
mean, they came to your show. Whether they bought merch or not, they
Yep.
came to watch you perform, and that's pretty special.
Yeah, man. I recently had a chat with a young fella that he was under 18, and he's ended up sort of sneaking into the venue just to see us play. And no money to him or anything like that. He's just found out we were playing a show that night, had to sneak in to be able to watch the show, all this sort of stuff. And 17, in high school still. And I said to him, he goes, "Oh, I hope you don't get mad." But I'm like, "Mad? No, I'm worried about how you're going to get home, but
Mm.
I'm not. I'm not mad. I think it's fantastic. I think it's awesome. I want people to pay tickets, obviously, and all that sort of stuff. But reality is, it made me feel good. I was like, holy shit, this dude's broken in to come see us. So it's unreal, unreal.
Oh, all right. What does 2026? God, we're halfway through it nearly. Well, not halfway through it nearly, but it's getting that way at the
I got,
moment.
I got time, Sammy. I got time, man.
What does 2026 hold in store for Gernz?
There's a whole new store for games. We're we're really unique with this aspect of things. We're doing more shows. Obviously, we play fairly regularly, but we're really looking to. I know this sounds funny. We're looking to play with some smaller bands in Melbourne and Adelaide. Um, it's all well and good to jump on a show. Like, we've been really fortunate with some of the gigs that we've played with, some of the artists we've played with and stuff like that. We've been really lucky. They've hunted us out, which is really cool. But something that we love, like I said before, about people getting up on stage, and that's part of the art. I want to play with, trying to think of some bands. Cheapskate,
Oh, great.
up and coming. Yeah, great band, great dude. I don't know the dude that well. I shouldn't say that, but great band. And so I want to play a show with him. So I'm hunting them out. There's a few other bands on my list to hunt out, and they're not all your Parkway drives or anything like that. I'm not looking necessarily to play with the biggest bands in Australia, but definitely some of the biggest bands and some of the smallest bands too that I think are amazing.
Blake's a great bloke. I actually know Blake from Cheapskate pretty well because, like Ocean Sleeper, he's from this area. I think he still lives in Gippsland as well. So, and
Yeah, right.
he's, yeah, part of Cheapskate. He also had an audition on Australian Idol, of all things.
Yeah, I think that's so funny. I've never actually watched it. Right, I'm
No.
not that sort of dude. I'm more of a conspiracy podcast sort of guy. But Um, Here's what I love about Cheapskate. Apart from his actual sound, like you said, his name's Blake.
Blake, yeah.
Well done, Blake. You're an unreal artist, man. But dude sounds good. But taking that aside, one song every single week for an entire year. So we're talking about 52 songs. That is expensive, hard, and I've listened to every single one of the songs that he's brought out so far this year. None of them are bad quality. So I want to play with that dude purely on that merit. I really love his art. And I don't really. He said to me, you can play with 9 Inch Nails or Cheapskate. The I want bigger crowds would probably go more 9 Inch Nails. The artist makes me want to go, I actually want to play with Cheapskate because the dude is doing something unique. In a hard environment. Because he doesn't have $1 million studio downstairs.
No, not that I'm
In fact,
aware of.
I keep seeing videos of the studio flooding. You know what I mean? So it's like that's the sort of dude that is working hard that I want to have beers with. I want to have a chat with. I want to get to know and I want to play shows with. Yeah, for sure. So that's happening 2026 and new music. We got new music coming out.
Nice.
Yeah, keen as.
Well, if you want me to contact Blake, I'd be more than happy to get in contact with him. I know him pretty well.
Yeah, do it. Tell him. I just had a chat with Liam, and he really wants to play a show with you guys. And then we're sort of in the talks with him anyway. But the more angles he comes at, I think we've got to, what like we were talking about easy before. We've got to really sponsor Blake. We've got to really get behind him because the entire music industry is fucked in Australia in every single aspect. So he's not going to get support from anyone else apart from you, me, and whoever watches this and whoever else is on the outside of looking in. Like, we have to be the people that back him.
No,
Yeah, for sure.
We got your back, Blake. We got everyone's back in them.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. 100%.
I mean, and a lot of people think, oh, mine's just a Melbourne-based band, but no, I support interstate bands. I support New Zealand bands. I mean,
yep.
A
Your
lot.
support's unreal, Sam. I've been introduced to a lot of bands because of you. Now I don't get on the socials as regular as most people, and I'm probably a little bit of a weirdo where I'll go on and I'll do a ghost post. So I'll post something and then just let it go bananas a bit. But like I'll over the years I've seen you post stuff and like you mentioned Gloom in the Corner. You introduced me to them. Because I'm like, who the fuck's Gloom in the Corner? Put them on. I'm like, oh yeah, not bad. No. Not bad.
I really am enjoying it. Like, I love the old stuff, Gloom, but I felt like when I heard, what was this big one? Not Assassination Run. It was the one between that and Nope off their new album. Oh, my brain's gone blank right at the moment. Fuck,
I'm not sure, man.
Yeah, this is bad because I've listened to that album so much, but it's something Angel Raff Whiskey. I heard that song and I'm just like, Assassination Run had me hooked. This has just got me hooked line and sinker because
Yeah.
it's even better. Look, I loved Assassination Run, but Angel Raff Whiskey, I mean, yeah, it's just next level.
Yeah, man. 100.
But also just on Gloom, because the guitarist, I think it is, of the Gloom in the Corner is also the guitarist in a Melbourne metal band called Silverfang, and I didn't realize it was the same person. And I'm a huge Silverfang fan, and he's like, "Oh, I'm in the Gloom now." I'm like, "Didn't know that."
Yeah. I mean, that happens a lot. I mean, you probably you would have seen it a lot. I've definitely seen it a lot where someone's playing in one band for a minute, then they're playing in the next, then they're playing in both. I think at the end of the day, whatever music scene you're playing in as a musician or an artist, you will naturally become, if you're a good person, obviously, you will naturally become friends with people. You will naturally, eventually, someone's going to ask you, "Can you help us out with this, this, and this?" For me, I've said no to a lot. Um, not with any malice or anything like that. Just I'm a father. I've got two kids. I work a full time, kind of very serious job. So this is what I get to do on my fun time, and I'm working with two other dudes that are like family. So it's very easy. Whereas I don't know, there's a little bit of PTSD with starting up a new band or being involved with someone else's project again, I think.
Mm. Yeah, 'cause there's some musicians in Melbourne that I'm not going to name drop that I feel like are in four or five different bands, or at one stage we're in four active bands, and just like, how can you keep up with that? It's
Well, again, it's the passion, and if you're a good enough musician to do that, and you want to make music your career, I am so sorry. It's not your fault. You're working hard. You're doing all the right things. It's all to do with bad actors in the music industry, really bad sponsorship, I suppose, from the government to the music industry. So, in other words, like what I'm saying is, yep, they're happy to go. Oh, we've got this $10,000 fund that we're gonna chuck out there to help the music industry grow. Wow, let's do this, that, the other, and then you'll find that the person. I'm not saying this happened, by the way. This is all allegedly, but allegedly, maybe the person from Vic Music has given it that $10,000 to their friend.
mm,
Not saying that has happened, maybe, but that that shit happens Australia wide. You know, why am I not hearing Cheapskate on Triple J, flat out? Why?
there's a lot of bands I'd argue why they're not heard on Triple J.
Yep, yep. And I'll tell you what, if you played every active band in Australia, you played one song once a week, you would have plenty of time to play all the other stuff that they would normally play.
I
You'd have
just
still a lot of time.
And just find that a lot of radio stations out there, they say, oh, we're 25% Australian content, but it's the same dad rock anthems that they play every day. And
Yeah,
it's just like, play something new. Come
yeah.
on.
Do you know what that does, Sam? It puts us in a situation, everyone, but it puts us in a situation where we don't know the new bands that are coming out. As the listener, as the artist, it prevents us from getting certain gigs because people don't know who the fuck we are. Um, you say, oh, has your music been playing on the radio before? Now I can say ours has. We're really lucky. There's a lot of people that don't even get a spin on community radio. That breaks my heart because I know that they're good. And I know that they're better than a lot of the bands that are coming out from other places around the world. But they're not getting that listening.
It's
Mm.
I don't know what the easy solution or easy fix is, Liam. Like, bands keep sending their music to community radio stations, and yeah, and I've heard
But,
so many that haven't even got a look in.
oh, yeah. Um, I've got an idea of what the solution might be, but you know, I think I'm working on that. If that makes sense,
See,
I think, yeah,
see, what's annoying, because I used to do a radio show, a community radio, but gave it up for reasons because it was getting too much of a chore. But I feel like if I was doing it now, this would be the opportune time to play these local bands because,
yeah,
I'd get the cheapskates out there. I'd get the, Gernz, the Wind Wakers, the Discords, the you know, common evils of the world that
yeah,
aren't
man.
getting that much airplay.
Do you know? You ever heard of the term payola?
No, I haven't.
All right, so this is an interesting thing. So back in the 60s, 70s, maybe even earlier, in the United States. They the mafia used to run the music industry. It would be like, hey, radio station, I'm going to give you $10,000 and you're going to play this artist this many times over this period of time. And that they go, yep, no worries. So that got banned. And you fast forward to today, I can tell you exactly what payola looks like. One of them's a little bit separate, but I'll go into it. Pay for play listings, pay for play on the radio. Any kind of pay for play is evil and shouldn't be done and denigrates our Australian music artists. So if you run a playlist and you are saying to artists, I'll put you on my playlist, but I'll charge you $10, you're a fucking criminal. I don't care, I don't care if that's how you make money. To me, you're a fucking criminal. And that's okay. Look, I'm not going to shit on another man's business either, but I ain't going to buy into that. I'm not going to give you $5, $2, or 20 cents. You're not going to get a cent from me.
Yeah.
In response, I'm not going to get the streams that other people who are willing to pay will get. Radio. For you to put my track on college radio, it's going to cost $45. No, I'm not going to give you any money to play my song because I'm not going to benefit from you playing it at 11 o'clock at night once every Tuesday night. And if I have to do that for one, what about the other 7,000? You know what I mean? This is what payola is. Now, the one that's kind of separate that I would also like to see changed a little bit, the music industry is corrupt. Let's chuck that money towards proper music journalism, right? And we say to those music journalists, you have a quota of bands that you must review, bands you must interview, bands you must do this, that, the other. You're a music journalist, Sam. Wouldn't it be nice if you got paid to do this right now?
In some ways, yes.
In some, it's not why you do it, but at
No.
the same time, conversations like this help artists more than a cheeky radio play at 11 o'clock at night with a listenership of 20 people. So that's where we need to be focusing. Now, again, we don't pay so far anyway, but I don't think we will. The idea is pretty set in stone. We're not going to pay for someone to listen to our music. We're not going to pay for someone to review our music, and we're not going to pay for any interviews or anything like that. If someone really wants to interview us, we'll do it, and we'll do it with anybody. It doesn't matter if you're a brand new podcast and this is your first episode, or like you, Sam, you've done quite a few episodes and you've developed a really good name for yourself and all this sort of stuff. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter how big the channel is or what the benefits are. We'll say yes to that, but we're not paying for it. And I think that for other artists, that's okay, but they want that exposure. So some of the magazines and stuff like that, they're asking $400 for a PR piece, and they need that money. So that's where our music industry money should be going, is giving it to these guys who I can look at a Higgsfield review that came out, in 2018. I can look that up forever, as long as the internet still works.
Mm.
Whereas a radio play that happened with Higgsfield in France, I will never be able to listen to that again.
No.
So this is the difference that I'm talking about as far as the music industry is concerned. Don't pay for play. Don't do this, that, the other. Pay real journalists the money to give free coverage for Aussie artists.
It's a very valid point. And the pay for plays thing, yeah, like,
It's gross.
yeah, it's like Spotify, but let's leave that one. I could get into some really dirty words I could say about Spotify, but this might go for the longest interview in history. But the other thing that I think's bullshit with the music industry and Spotify at the moment is the whole AI generated playlists shit. But again, that's another topic for another day.
All part of the same payola system, though,
Mm.
man. All part of it.
And because if your songs get played on that AI generated playlist, you don't get the royalties, which is a crock of shit.
Mate, we with Gernz, when It's Been a While came out, we had one day where we got about 1,200 streams randomly, and yeah, we didn't actually have, or maybe we'd only just started our Instagram page and our Facebook page and TikTok and all that. I think we'd only just started it when this song came out. So we're all excited. We're like, fuck, like it's got a bit of traction somewhere. This is unreal. This is really, really cool. And then when we looked into it, it was like, oh, that's kind of weird. It only happened on one day. And then we get this notification from Spotify saying, if you do your botted playlist shit again, we're going to cancel you. That's it. You'll be removed off Spotify, blah, blah, blah. I'm sitting there going, we haven't paid anything like that. And I've actually heard that from a lot of artists lately, is that they'll get an influx of streams and their song will be removed. Or they're a popular artist and a random AI song will jump onto their discography, right?
I have heard that a lot
I've heard that a lot too.
lately. Couple of
And
mates bands have had it happen.
yeah, man. Yep. It happened with Cog. And I'll never forget how excited I got to hear the new Cog song. And it was like a fart in the breeze. It was the weirdest sort of ambient sort of sounds. And I'm like, what the fuck are these boys done? And then it's just that. And I have a feeling that that's probably not an accident. I think
No.
that's probably done very much on purpose.
Because, yeah, it happened to a band out of, oh, they're from Lismore, but now live, well, they say they're from Lismore, but they're actually Brisbane based called Total Buzzkill. It happened a few months
Ah, great
ago.
band.
Yeah, and
Yeah, yeah.
good blokes too. Like, I mean, the music's awesome, great people. They had one song put up, and I was almost about to share it, and Jake from the band messages me and goes, "That song on Spotify is not ours." I'm like, "It's
Yeah,
AI, isn't it?" He's like, "Absolutely." I'm like,
yeah.
"Those pricks." I mean, how can they live with themselves, Spotify? Like, but yeah.
Money, man. At the end of the day, this is all it is. It's all money. It's all money. And it was all money before streaming. It was all money, you know.
That's yeah. I think it's a great platform. I will give it that, and you can find a lot of music, but the way they work things, no, it's a dog act.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Oh, well, we've come to the South Australian question now, and this is going to be interesting to see who's made my top five. Your favorite five fellow South Australian bands?
All right. Can you go first, Sammy? Because I'll need to think about it for a sec. I
All
need to
right.
think about. I'm thinking. I'll upset a couple of mates of mine.
I've got to be really careful here because I think I'm going to upset someone either way because a lot of my favourite bands are out of South Australia at the moment.
Shoot for it,
So,
man. What do you got?
all right, Discord and Gernz are two. So represent the
Yeah,
regional South Australia. Uh,
absolutely. I'm glad that you said that because we can keep talking.
uh, then it gets difficult because there are a lot of metal bands in Adelaide that could be named. I am going to go with my boy Seek Misery. That yeah, awesome band that dropped an album last year, and I've seen them a couple of times. They're actually coming to Melbourne next Friday to play with Archangel and Tranquility Unknown, which sounds pretty sick. Unfortunately, I'm working the same night they're in Melbourne, which is a pain.
That happens, man. My life. Wait, so what
uh,
was that band called? Seek Misery.
Seek Misery.
I'm gonna look that up.
Wolf and Chain, probably another band I'm loving out of Adelaide at the moment.
Very cool alt metal rock sort of stuff. Very cool. Yeah. Is Jesse?
Jesse's the vocalist.
Yeah.
Now, could I
He's
tell you?
very good. He's very good.
Yes. Uh, That's four. All right. Ugh, this is where it gets difficult now, doesn't it? Oh shit. Signals. I just love those guys. Young
Those dudes
band.
are sick.
Yeah.
My drummer, so my drummer, my good bloody mate too. So Frosty, drummer in Gernz, just one of those sort of dudes that you just don't know. If you hate him, there's something wrong with you, 100%. So he comes back. He plays in another band called the 5th of June, and he's come back. They've played a show in Adelaide. And he's come back and he's like, "Bro, you got to listen to Signals. They're fucking sick." I'm like, "Oh, put them on. Show me." He goes, "I can't." I'm like, "What do you mean you can't?" He goes, "Well, they're all like 17 years old. They just started." So we've been following them for a little bit and watched the way those boys have gone about their business. Unreal. And that's the sort of shit I was talking about before about people need to get punk again and do their own thing, carve out their own path. That's Signals, man.
And not nicest bunch of guys too, Signals. I've
Yes,
got to,
I don't know them, but yeah, I've heard the same thing from a lot of different people.
yeah. And I like the idea of brothers in a band as well, because a lot of people won't know, but Dylan and Tyler that are in Signals are actually brothers, which I didn't realize at first, but then
I didn't know that until now.
but no, they are awesome. I actually interviewed them back in the audio podcast days, so we're going back a while.
Yeah, yeah.
And I feel like they were only just out of high school when I interviewed them because they're still very young even now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. 100%. And I wish them boys nothing but success and a good life. And I'll say this to every band that's young, every band that's old, every band making music. Like, the success is you doing the alchemy, creating something from nothing. That is the success. So if you pursue that, you will do well. Just don't think you're going to be, selling out arenas after you drop your first song. That's stupid, but at the same time, it's not unheard of either. So
No. But I think the big thing for me with Signals last year was they got to support Thornhill in Melbourne.
yeah, cool.
That's Thornhill are like the next Parkway, and I know that's a big call and all that, but they are getting to that point that
No,
they'll be.
they're great. They're great, and they deserve. They've worked again. I mean, I keep saying this, but like these bands are working really, really hard. I think the average listener probably doesn't understand the aspects that go into it. Like I design. Um, I'll write the music with the boys. We'll record it together with a small team of people. Then I'll design the album artwork. I'm often doing all of the, organizing it through the distribution agencies and all that sort of shit. I'm the one doing a lot of the setting up the PR management sort of stuff. So organizing the interviews, organizing um, the EPKs and all that sort of stuff to send out to everyone. And just because we're not paying, we don't want to pay for this, that, the other. That's because we're already working really hard on other things, and we have other. We want to use that money to build the art, not the name. That makes it not the brand. So we're working on all of it. It's important. Those guys are working really hard.
Mm.
My top five, I got it. All right, number one, Gernz, because we're fucking sick. All right.
Got to public, yeah. You
Eh,
gotta, yeah, do
hey,
that.
you know what? We're unreal. We're unreal. Go listen to our music. Next, I'm going to say this is a bit controversial, but these guys are my favorite band at the moment and have it stuck for a bit. Molly Rocket. Yeah,
I
them?
have heard of Molly Rocket.
Let me tell you something about Molly Rocket. We played a beer and barbecue festival with who was playing on that? DZ Death Rays, Butterfly Effect.
Oh, wow.
We yeah, like quite a few big names. Now, you would think being a little band compared to all of them, we would be absolutely thropping those big bands. And they did a great job. They played unreal shows. There was a lot of it was unreal. For me personally, I nearly died the week, the week leading up to that show, I nearly died. I was rushed up to hospital. I was septic and all this sort of stuff. It was horrific. But I had massive surgeries on me, and I needed to play that show because my brain's just wired different. So I've gone and played this show, pissing blood, in incredible amounts of pain, not enjoying the day whatsoever. Anyway, we finished our set. I don't know how we did. I've never seen us play before. I've always been on stage. But I go out into the crowd, and there's a few friends of mine there and a lot of people kicking around wanting to talk to me and stuff like that. And I kept getting distracted by the band playing up on stage who were killing it. It was Molly Rocket. I thought they were unreal. Then they've released a new EP this year, and it is my favourite EP that I've heard ever. That's a big thing to say for me. Like, I'm really, I like knowing a lot of bands that not many people know. But for them to take out a number 1 spot over, give an example, Queens of the Stone Age's Lullabies, the Paralyze EP. That EP that I had with Little Sister and a couple of other tracks on there.
In My Head, Burn the Witch, yep.
100%. Molly Rocket beat that for me.
Oh, gee, because that was a pretty big album.
It's a big album. Well, the EP that came with that album, it was more like a single sort of thing. But I think the new Molly Rocket album is EP kicks ass, and from start to finish. So that's my number 2. So Gernz, Molly Rocket. I'm going to have to pick another Mount Gambier band. I'm going to say Discord. Heavy, good dudes, and I want to get a live show with them. So I think if I butter them up a bit on you, that might help.
I reckon if you...
I reckon.
Gav will say, I've watched this. Let's put a show together.
I've been hitting up Jake. I'm like, Jake, let's go, mate. So I think this is the call to action. Let's go, boys. Gernz, Discord, co-headline. Let's go. Let's make it happen. My last pick, I'm gonna go with South Australia. We have so many good bands. I'm gonna say Lola. I think Lola are fantastic. I think Billy and the crew are working really, really hard, and I think that I have nothing but respect for that kind of work ethic, and I think their music's fantastic. So I'll go with them.
It's a very good top 5, and there's going to be people are going to watch this and go, "I'm going to be up shit creek without a paddle," because I'm going to get messages from Alt and Suffolk Avenue, Storm the Crown. Where were we?
and look, I got to say this. That's because those are some of the bands that we're playing with as well. Yeah, those are some of the dudes that I know. So I'm going to pick them over some of the bands that, like, you know, I might listen to. Like, we just played a show with I'm so sorry. What was the name of their band? It was for their album launch. I should be way better than this. Anyway, we just played a show with a great band. They were fantastic. The performance was great, and I didn't really listen to their music before we played with them. Now I'm listening to a bit after, and you know, they could easily have slipped in there as well. You know, there's so many good bands coming out of South Australia, especially regional South Australia. You know? But you know, it's great. We're pretty lucky.
I'm going to cause debate and say 7 of my favourite 10 Aussie bands at the moment are actually from regional Australia. So
yeah, right.
Yeah, well, so
at the end of the day, I mean, like we're writing music on the side of a volcano, drinking beers in a shed. Pretty unique situation. I don't know many Aussies that are sitting on the edge of a volcano writing music. So
no.
I mean, down here we've got a little bit of an edge to us, a little bit of sulfur kicking around in the air.
The people keeping score, who are my 3 favourites that aren't from regional Australia in that top 10? Well, it's Red Hook, it's Body Prison, and I feel like In Art's Wake. I think they're the 3 non-regional bands that...
Yeah, man.
Oh, sorry, no, In Art's Wake are regional. They're Byron Bay. Shit, no, it's not them then. Okay, it's Red Hook, it's Body Prison, Future Static. I think those are the three that
Future Static are fantastic.
I mean, and those three bands, like the Thornhills and the Ocean Sleepers, are actually working hard and now becoming probably. I think Red Hook and Future are probably the two biggest female-fronted bands in this country. It's a big call, I know, but
Yeah. You know what? I do know what you're saying. I'm gonna maybe chuck a bit of credit towards maybe I don't know what the go is, but like Monica Strutt in
oh, Last Martyr, absolutely
Last
as
Mother.
well.
What a hard worker! What a fantastic band! I know that is it Ben? Ben's just left the band,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But you know what? Like, I don't know what the dynamics are between them, but she's fantastic. I think she's a fantastic hard worker. I think sometimes we've got to step away from the gender ideology that happens within the male fronted vocalist versus female fronted vocalist. I get sick of that shit real quick because my favorite singers are all female. So like, I'm a huge fan of like yeah, pretty much female fronted bands. Like if you said favorite heavy band at the moment, I'd say Ginger. If you said to me, like who's like Brat, like grindcore sort of stuff, like I'm loving that. And that's I didn't even know that it was a girl singer until I looked up the band. So it's um I'm sick of that split. There's a lot of misogyny that goes on. There is zero doubt about that. That also needs to fuck off, and that is why there is the split. Really simply, I think that yeah, female fronted music. We play a lot with a band called the Short Sleeves because the lead singer, her name's Daisy. She's got a fantastic voice on her, fantastic. And I don't care if that comes from a dude, woman, someone who's trans, like somewhere in between. I really don't care where it comes from as long as it sounds good.
I totally agree with that. And for me, there's a lot of, like we've mentioned, Last Martyr, there's Relica, there's
Yeah,
Vilify, Red Hawk, Future Static, Excuse for an Exit from Down My Way. There is so many bands that are fronted by female, and I think they're some of the best in this damn country right at the moment. A beautiful
yeah,
monument. I've missed everyone. Like I've said everyone there, and I've said Vilify that is literally the beautiful monument minus Kieran.
yeah,
But their stuff is fucking phenomenal at the moment.
yep, yep. Absolutely, absolutely. I think like the, a lot of that payola stuff that I was talking about before has also got to do with that misogyny that is in the music scene. It all needs to die. It all needs to get burnt off like the little tentacle things in Stranger Things. We just need to burn it off. We need to fuck it off. We need to stop comparing apples to oranges and just start really paying attention to the bands that are doing well, sounding great, and kicking ass.
Hell yeah. Amen.
Amen, brother.
Oh, fuck. All right. Well, I don't know where the time's gone. It's gone fucking quicker than any other interview I've done, and that's saying something. I've only got one more question because we've got through so much, Liam, and it's an advice one. So, what advice would you give bands and artists starting out?
Yeah, I guess I've already done it. What I will say, and I'll repeat it again: get back to being an artist and carve your own fucking path. Stop getting told what to do and start telling people what you're doing. Do not worry about looking like a dickhead on the internet. Do not worry about upsetting someone who is the local promoter. Don't worry about it. Just start doing what you're meant to be doing, which is creating the art in the first place. We do alchemy. Alchemy is amazing. It used to be piss discs. Now it's fucking CDs. We're doing Unreal. So if you're just starting out as an artist, my number one advice is you're going to get 1,000 people telling you what to do. It's not a good idea to listen to all of that. The best thing you can do is focus on your art and have fun. Be around the right people. Someone does you wrong, even just once, doesn't mean cut them off and make a big scene about it. Watch yourself. Yeah, that would be what I have to say. And I think for the bands that have been around for a long time, we were talking about Space Goat before. I would really like to relay this message to the whole band because I know that it's hard, and I know that you recently lost their drummer. That's quite a big thing. A lot of bands are very close knit. We're like little families. We don't always get along. Us boys and Gernz do because we're cool, but that's just us. Your moment, everyone's waiting for that big moment to happen. It might not come, so make it. Make it happen. If your big moment is, for me, my favorite thing that I've done so far is playing the spider bait. Because when I was a kid, I used to go in the lounge room, turn on the TV at 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock in the morning to watch Rage. And I remember watching spider bait a lot when I was a kid. So for me, playing with them was huge. But we've done Hands Like Houses a couple of times. Those dudes are great. They're a huge band. It's a fantastic opportunity for us. But Spiderbait will always be my big moment. And there'll be other big moments that come up. Make it happen for yourself.
Yeah. Well said, and good advice too.
Thanks. I dribble a lot of shit as well, so maybe don't take my advice. Just go out there, give it a red hot go.
My advice is similar. I know I don't have the band artist experience, but I think anyone that out there that wants to start doing a podcast or a radio show like Heretic Frequency, Sam's Alternatives, Tyrannosaurus Rex, whatever it may be,
Yeah, man.
I think just do it because I don't give a shit what my voice sounds like. Like I don't like the sound of my voice 90% of the time, but I think you just get used to it
You
after a
do, man.
while.
Hey, I don't like my singing voice. I hate it. And I had our producer called me up because I was talking negatively about myself, and he's just like, "What the fuck are you doing? What are you saying?" Because we talk about you behind your back in a way where it's like he's the guy, and I hate that. I go, "Yuck, that's disgusting." But I think at the end of the day, you're always going to be your worst critic. If you're striving for something better than average, you're always going to be your worst critic. And I think that's a good thing. And if you allow yourself to look like a bit of a clown, more people will think that's cool than what they don't.
And as I said at the start of the interview, I'm not someone that takes myself seriously. I take the shit out of myself all the time.
Oh, me too, man. Me too. That's why I got a mullet. I got a mullet at the moment because I just thought it was fucking. I don't know. I had when I got my hair cut, I was wearing a particular jumper that made it look real 80s. So I
Uh,
thought that was cool. So I'm like, you know what, dude, cut my hair into a mullet. Let's go.
if people would like to see why I don't take myself seriously, if I actually did a bloopers of what has gone wrong over the last 800, nearly 800 episodes of this podcast, it would go for an eternity because there's so many fuck ups. But at the end of the day, I just laugh it off and just go, oh, it happens to us all. It's
It
just,
happens to us all, man, but it's also what makes us unique. The error is to human. If you don't, if um, I don't think I would ever marry one of the Kardashians. I would have a really good chance to if I met them because I'm very charming. But I don't think I would marry one of the Kardashians because it's to be that prim and proper is not my vibe.
no.
To be that concerned about what other people think. I'm much more likely to marry Tammy from my 600-pound life, not because I like the bigger girls, but because like that sort of attitude of, well, like, fuck it, who cares? Who really cares? That's reality. That's the reality of things. People talk about you a lot less than what you think,
Yeah.
and people say a lot more positive things about you than what you think, and when they do talk about you. So I think that's what everybody's got to kind of keep in mind is I'm figuring out life as I go. So are you, Sammy. So is everyone else. No one's more important than anyone else. Even though there are definitely people that think they're more important than others. They're wrong. That's all right. They're allowed to be wrong.
At the end of the day, we're all the same. No
Oh,
one's
same man. We all
better
bleed
than
red.
anyone else.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's again. This is just my philosophy on life. That's what I was sort of saying before about the female fronted bands versus male fronted bands. I don't care because it's not the way I view the world. The way I view the world is really simple. Are you a good person? Are you doing good things? Are you learning to be a good person? Are you experimenting with good things? Like, it's really simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be so aggressive all the time either. Some people nowadays are so angry about everything.
Mm.
Just chill out, man. Chill out.
All right. Well, I actually didn't say this at the start of the interview. Now I felt really bad because I'm going to put Liam on the spot here because
Yeah.
this is the reversal. So the role reversal. I've asked Liam a bunch of questions at the end of the interview. Then the guest gets to ask the interviewer a question. So I've put you on the
Yeah.
spot right here, right now, an hour and 50 minutes in, but here's the
No, no, good,
time.
good. All right, I got a question for you. So I'm going to say, if you were going to play in any kind of band, what genre would you play in?
I like that.
Yeah,
I feel like it's gonna be like a grunge rock band because
yeah,
biggest influences Nirvana, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam alone.
yeah, man.
And
Yeah,
yeah, I felt like it'd have to be a grunge rock, but I definitely wouldn't be the vocalist. I'd go for the drums because I love making noise.
yeah, cool, man. Hey, everyone needs a drummer.
Uh,
Every good band has a good drummer. It's been part of the formula for a long time, man. If the drummer's shit, the band's shit.
and I also do realize drummers are like the ones that always look over and see me and goes, "I'm going to talk to Sam." I'm like, why do they keep doing that? Because they don't want to pack down.
Oh, and also, let's just say now it is drummers are usually, it's a myth that they're all dumb. They're all very smart,
They're
but
very.
some of them are a bit airier than others. That's the other. That's a fact. But they're good people. They're good people. You got to be a little bit strange to want to get behind the kit. I think sometimes. I think you got to be a bit strange to get behind a guitar and a microphone. I think artists are weird people. We're all very strange.
But it's also interesting, like with vocalists, and I've got to be careful here because I am talking to a vocalist right
Oh,
here.
barely, man, barely.
But
Vocalist because they forced me to.
it's interesting the dynamics of you see the vocalists on stage go loud and hard and all that, and there's some vocalists out there, you talk to them off the stage and they're, I wouldn't say shy, but they're sort of more they stand back a bit and sort of, I don't know, like I've just found a few, and I'm not going to name drop them because they're
No, no,
great
no.
people, and
Yeah,
but I've just noticed a couple, and it's just like you go so hard on stage, and then you sort of quiet and
yeah.
head off
It
stage.
does something to your Sammy. It really does. So I'm one of them people. I'll play a show. I'm up there screaming my head off. I'm out there talking about this, that, the other. I'm singing songs that are very sometimes aggressive, sometimes funny, but very approachable. And then I'm off stage, and I need a minute to just chill. And I think in general, I'm happy to have a conversation one on one with someone. But if I've got 10 people all talking at me, I get a bit overstimulated and I get a bit weird about it. And I will hide somewhere. I will generally go, I'll be back in a minute, boys, or, I'll be back in a minute, guys. And then I will piss off and go hide somewhere for about 20 minutes until my body's, until I've grounded myself again.
And I'm just going to say this. That wasn't any disrespect to these vocalists because I
No,
think
no, no,
they're
no. I think
amazing.
it's something that definitely happens, and
Mm,
there is something about playing a show, and when it's finished, there is something that happens physically in your body. Um, when I was in Higsford, I was pretty much just playing guitar. So that it didn't happen to me. Whereas with Gernz, I'm singing every single song.
yeah.
So I'm the only singer in the band, but like I'm singing the song, and after yeah, I don't know, it just definitely maybe the energy's up for so long, like your adrenaline's up, everything's up, you're focusing on three or four things, and then all of a sudden you're just not.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's like that.
No, yeah, it is an interesting one. And then there's some vocalists that will chew your ear off for half an
Yeah,
hour.
man, that's me. That's also me. I think that's the thing too. People are dynamic at the end of the day, man. I'm not in the best mood all the time.
No.
I'm sometimes quite somber. I get little bouts of sort of being very down on myself and how things are. It's a very difficult planet that we live in sometimes, and I think that it's never an excuse to be rude. It's never an excuse to knock someone else or anything like that. But I think people probably need to know that people are dynamic.
Mm.
And for some people, they play a character up on stage. That's not me. But I know stand-up comedians that say I play a character when I'm up on stage. I'm playing a stand-up comedian, and I go, that's unreal. I've never heard of that before, but it's more common than what you'd think. Yeah.
Nice. Absolutely. Oh, well, I'd love to sit here and chat till whatever time, but
Absolutely.
yeah, this has been an absolute pleasure talking to Liam from Gernz. I've had a great time. I hope it's not that long before Gernz come on again, because I
Yeah,
want
we'll come
part
on again,
two.
man. We'll come on again, brother. And we'll try and get the other dudes involved too. Um, I nearly had Frosty come over, and then I was just like, you know what? Stay on, stay on. I've got this. I got this, man. He's like me, my support person, I guess.
But like every interview I've done, I've had an absolute pleasure. I felt like this is the quickest interview ever because it's just disappeared. I felt like we just got on.
Yeah, we did. Naturally, man. Naturally, I think. Like I said, I've watched your podcast before, so I'm not coming in and stressing about any weird questions or anything like that. So sort of, I've been watching it for a good, long time now, so it's like pretty easy. We've talked, that, so I feel very comfortable. And thank you very much for having us on. We'll come on again.
Yep.
Anyone else out there that is, sort of not big mainstream music publications that want to do interviews and that sort of stuff, please hit us up. If you are a big mainstream publication, you want to do us an interview, hit us up, but it's going to cost you a lot of money. Got
I
to get
knew
it back.
that was gonna end on that. I knew that.
Well, like I said, it's this is what we do. We need to get around the people that get around us. You always have, Sammy. We appreciate you. We love you. We love your podcast. We love the artists that you get on. It's been fantastic. So yeah, thank you very much for having us on, man.
Oh, anytime there's been no issues with audio or visual. Maybe you see me pick my hair about 50 times during the chat, but
I didn't
outside of
notice.
that, oh,
Didn't
I
notice,
think I
man.
have been. I don't know if I have or not. I'm just trying to keep my head sort of away from my head. Because I've watched back other interviews, it's like, oh, visual's perfect, and then I'm there going like this. So I'll definitely watch this back. There won't be anything wrong with it. It would just be where can I pick apart every little thing I did wrong and be like, here.
Nah, don't be so harsh on yourself, Sammy. I've enjoyed it, man. I've enjoyed it. Absolutely.
Well, I will send you the link sometime in the next 24 hours. It depends if YouTube want to upload it quickly or take 2.5 hours to upload it.
No worries.
And I'll send you the link. You will see Gernz on the Spotify playlist and also Higgs Field among
Woo!
all the bands we mentioned there: Molly Rocket, Seek Misery, Discord, Alt, Wolf and Chain, Ocean Sleeper. They're all on there. So
Awesome.
all right, Liam from Gernz, it's been an absolute pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your Monday night, and
You too,
we'll
brother.
stay in touch.
Sounds like a plan, man. We'll catch up with you next time.
No worries, sounds good.
All right. Uru King.
Catch up.
See you, brother.
See ya.